Hi everyone and welcome back to another video. Since it's officially spring, I have decided what better time than this to craft myself a spring TBR, because if I don't, I feel like spring is going to pass by and I wouldn't have read a thing. Now I have divided the books into two categories. We have cats on the cover and flowers or leaves on the cover. Let's begin with the kitties. The first book on the list is The Healing Season of Pottery by Yeon So-min. And I must confess, I have already read this one, but I read it last year as an e-arc, and if you know, when you read e-arcs, you cannot really highlight things, and there's just so many good quotes in this one that I knew as soon as it comes out, I need to get a physical copy and reread it, so I'm going to do exactly that. In short, this book is about a woman whose job tired her to the point of her needing a break, and after a couple of months of hibernating, she knew that things needed to change. However, what she didn't know is that change is going to come one random day while she was venturing out into the streets of Seoul, and she smells this aroma of coffee and it entices her, so she has to go check it out. After checking it out, she realizes that it's not only a coffee shop, but it's also a pottery studio, and this new hobby of hers is going to change her life. I just cannot wait to read it again because it's so wholesome and cute and cozy, and it's just everything. It's everything. Keeping the theme of changing lives in a coffee shop, the next book on my TBR is The Full Moon Coffee Shop by Mei Mochizuki, and to be honest, this one was sold to me by the blurb. Just hear me out. Under a glittering full moon, a Kyoto coffee shop with no fixed location appears only when it's needed, and it is entirely run by talking cats. I mean, need I say more? I knew I need this book in my life, and also it looks like another self-help fantasy book that kind of deals with people who are lost in life, which is exactly what I am right now. So I really need to read this soon to give me a bit of hope. Also, this was gifted by my sister, and I know that she's watching this, so thank you. So we all know how important having a fur baby is to our well-being, especially when things get tough. And this book, The Blanket Cats, deals exactly with this topic. There's a unique pet shop in Tokyo where you can go and rent a cat for 3 days. And you may wonder, why would you do that? Well, because it is believed that these cats, they can help you find a solution to your life problems, or at least give you another point of view that you may have not considered before. It also says here that all these cats, they come with their own familiar blanket and they must sleep with that blanket. And I wonder why is that and what would happen if they don't. My oh my, all these books sound so good so far, and I honestly don't know which one to begin with. Anyways, the next book on my spring TBR is The Traveling Cat Chronicles by Hiro Arikawa. And I have actually read the second book in this series and I cried. Like full on sobbing, okay? And if that was the case with that one, I'm kind of scared of this one now. Plus, when I read the second one, I was actually at home back in Romania and I could go and hug my cats very tight after reading it, but now I cannot, and wish me luck. I will need it. But don't get me wrong, these books are not like sad. They're like sad, but in a wholesome way, like there's a life lesson to be learned always. So it's worth the read, but just, it's very emotional and my poor heart cannot really handle it at times. Let's change the mood a bit and talk about the book which is more on the fun side, and it's the Kamogawa Food Detectives. The cover alone makes me crave a hot, warm meal, but upon reading the blurb, I realized that maybe it's not as fun as I thought it would. I mean, it seemed very lighthearted, but apparently not. It says here that there's a diner on a quiet back street in Tokyo, and it's called the Kamogawa Diner. Customers who can find this diner apparently come for a very specific service that they offer, and it's the Food Detectives one, where they are capable of recreating a dish from the customer's past. They may hold the key to unlocking forgotten memories and ongoing happiness. Well, I'm more intrigued now, but I realize that it may not be as fun, so I think I really need to buy like a whole pack of tissues if I plan on reading any of the cat books, because they all seem wholesome, but you know. Well, let's move on to the next category now. The second category is made up of books that either have some sort of flowers on the cover or any type of green or leaves. And the first one on this list is Heart Be at Peace by Donald Ryan. It's about the story of a small town in Ireland, and it's told by its inhabitants in 21 different voices. I mean, how unique is that? I don't even know how someone can like write something like that and make it cohesive and interesting, but I did read some of the reviews, and apparently it is a job well done. Apparently these voices intersect at various points, and I just have this feeling that this book is going to break my heart, because usually books that the setting is in a small town, they usually do. I don't know what it is about them, but they do. And speaking of books that will make me emotional, I know that the next one is going to stir some feelings in my poor heart, and is Tom Lake by Anne Patchett. From the get-go, I love the cover, but if you look over here in the corner, it says that this book is a bittersweet tale of family, heartbreak, and hope. I'm not so sure why I keep on picking books that are on the sadder side, but then I think to myself, isn't that what spring is about? Just unearthing some of your lore and being nostalgic, thinking about things, because this is what this book is about, actually. So the mom in this one has 3 daughters, and the daughters ask her to tell them about a time in the mom's life where she was on a stage with a film star that she really loved. And apparently after this, they're all going to look at life a bit differently. Yeah, this sounds sad. I don't know. Tissues, please. But I feel that we should change it a little bit and go for something more scary, since it's a genre I don't really tend to read from, but I made the goal for myself this year that I'm going to try it a lot more. So the first one I'm going to read is The Specimen by Jemima Fixon. My reasoning for picking this one up in particular is that when I was in the bookstore, I got it up, I looked at the cover, I was like, wow, beautiful, had to have it. And then I read a blurb to get a bit of information about the story, and the first sentence is, I kid you not, 1826. Isabel Tate finds herself, by chance, staring at a tiny human heart floating in a jar. I mean, I have so many questions and I needed answers, so I can't wait to read this one. Speaking of odd stories, the next book is The Garden by Nick Newman, and it is advertised as The Secret Garden but with a very dark twist. What was once inviting in the original story, in this one it will be very terrifying and you'll want to run far away from. From the looks of it, this book is also dystopian, which is one of my favorite genres, and takes place in the end of the world, which is very fascinating to me. It always has been. I like to know about all the theories about how the world may end, and I know it sounds very strange, but you have to understand it's coming from a girl who's wanted to be at some point a medical examiner. So I just like to think about things and know things. And I'm actually curious if in this book the end of the world is man-made or natural, because I'm not quite sure how the garden plays a part. Are people retreating in the garden, or is the garden the only place that it's somehow still alive? Finally, the last book that I want to read before spring ends is called The Moss. To be completely honest, I picked this one up because of the cover, which I thought was very cool, and because it was amongst the recent releases at the library. I was thinking actually to recreate this cover for a Bookstagram post. I think it would be very cool, but I'm not quite sure if I really want to stuff my face into a tree just yet, since I'm still recovering from a sinus infection. But I mean, come on, look at it, look. That would be such a cool picture, wouldn't it? From the blurb, it seems that this book is about a disappearance or multiple disappearances in a small town, and they all kind of blame the vast bogland that is nearby, called the Moss, for the disappearances. I'm actually curious if this is more supernatural or like human. It's actually like someone, a person, kidnapping the people, or maybe they just run away by themselves, or maybe there's something in the moss, supernatural, that's like luring them to go there. I'm intrigued. I hope I get this in time, because I already have had it for a week and I might need to extend my loan with the library. Well, that was my spring TBR, and I'm quite proud of it. It's quite diverse, many different genres. And if you'd like to buy read any of this book that I mentioned, please let me know. I'm down, let's do it. I really need the motivation, because I'm currently at 15 books out of 120 for my reading goal, and that's not okay. I need to change that. That being said, thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!